Hello everyone, welcome to Furtico Insights, Decoding Furniture Design and Well-being. I am Trilochan Singh from Furtico, and in today's episode, we are going to dive deep into the world of wood, exploring all different types of wood and material that you need to know before buying any material for your home and office project. To help us guide through this topic, I am thrilled to introduce Mr. Raghbir Singh from the Poona Saw Mills. A third generation entrepreneur, Mr. Singh brings decades of experience to the table, and he runs one of the largest displays of plywood, veneer, laminates and timber. He and his family has been running this business in the bustling timber market of Pune since decades. And he is also my go-to person whenever I need any guidance in wood or any of the materials. So pardon me if I call him Virji because that's what I address him as. Welcome to the show, Virji. It's lovely to have you here. Please, for our audience, please introduce yourself and tell us more about you and your family business.
Trilochan, thanks a lot for the warm welcome. And I'd like to tell you something about me and myself and our whole business. So, our firm, the Poona Saw Mills, was started in 1966
Okay.
by my grandfather, Mr. Prem Singh ji. And that time people used to not have typical surnames, what they got from their caste. They used to have surnames from their trade. And so, my grandfather was famous by the name of Prem Singh Arewale. So Arewale means like Ari.
Okay.
So that was our family name was Arewale, and still till today many people recognize us Aryawala da beta hega, like in Punjabi. So in '66, my grandfather started our firm by the name of the Poona Saw Mills, and I guess we were one of the first sawmills of Pune. And then later, my dad, Mr. Prithpal Singh, he joined him, and I guess in 2003 or 2004, I joined my father. So in 2003, 2004, we were primarily, manufacturing packaging boxes for companies in Pimpri Chinchwad, and we were doing pine wood boxes, rubber wood boxes. But then when I joined, I told my father that I want to do something new. And then we gradually shifted into plywood, timber, laminates and all. It's been like almost 5-6 years that I started my own brand.
Okay.
Yeah. We have our own brand, which is registered now by the name of Starsia, and we get our plywood manufactured up to very good quality standards and precision from factories in Ludhiana and Yamunanagar. And likewise, I am also distributing top leading brands of plywood. So in timber, we are doing Burma teak, Tanzania teak, that is from Africa. We are doing also Canadian timber like Douglas fir, Western hemlock, and red cedar. Then in laminates, we are doing distribution for various companies, and we are also doing decoratives like louvers, PVC, laminates, and many more things. Like there's a lot of variety to deal with.
I can definitely relate to this because at times even I get confused कि मुझे क्या चाहिए, क्या लेना है, क्या decide करना है. It's thank you for the brief description and everything about you and your family and the business. Thank you. So, Viji, getting straight into the topic now, can you tell us that how have you seen the preferences change over the years where people have started moving from say first teak to now laminates and plywoods and different sorts of woods that are available in the market? Like what is it that you've been seeing over these years that you've been into business?
So Virji, what has happened is over the years, or you can say even for centuries, wood was the prime product that was used in furniture. Like for centuries, our fathers, great-grandfathers, all of them used only wood. But over the last few years, there are a lot of factors which has changed the customer's preferences. So like technology is one major thing. Technology has, advanced to a different level. Like in a few years ago, like CNCs, router cutters were used primarily to cut metal. But of late in this last 2-3 years, CNC is used for cutting, engraving, and it is so quick. You just map it onto your CNC's computer and it just cuts the plywood or MDF the way you want it. So these things have saved a lot of time. So customers' preferences are changing towards now CNC cut, MDF, and time is also a big factor now. People have less of time. So, that things have changed. Then nowadays consumers, they really believe in using what's popular. Online trends, Google search. So people, they end up searching for louvers, PVC laminates, acrylic. So these surfaces have, gained more popularity. So customer wants something that is popular. They don't want anything that's not popular. And of course, cost. Now using real wood has its own challenges because of the cost. And consumers want something that is budget friendly, pocket friendly, and looks also like wood.
Right. And I think more than the cost, the people, the skilled labor who used to, carve the wood and, make beautiful furniture, that has also declined. Like जो पहले हमें कारीगर बोलते थे, skilled labor बोलते थे, जो पहले था वो अभी नहीं रहा है, वो मिलते ही नहीं है. So that's why we have to move to machines. Like for example, for us, now we also have to move to machines, and that's why we've gotten into the modular furniture segment, where it's all machine made, and because skilled labor मिलता ही नहीं है, तो उसके लिए ये करना, I think that was need of the hour as well, more than the cost and anything.
And see what happens is, if you see, even today for wood, you require a skilled worker. If there is a skilled person, the biggest challenge is that his own customer doesn't have patience.
Correct. Right.
A skilled laborer will tell, sir, give me my own time. I'll do this work peacefully. I'll do it in actual wood. But sometimes then the customer himself tells that, why is it going to take so much time? Convert it to plywood.
It has become that easy because you just order it on Amazon, our website. That's what we even do. We pack in boxes, just send it across. You can assemble it yourself. So no one really has that time to get in the carpenter, to make them sit in your premises, make them buy what you want and carve it, and then create the piece that you're looking for. And no one really wants to do that work as well, because everyone is like, nahi, this is too much work for us. So it's towards the easier side as well. And I think that's the reason all these DIY furniture, and for that matter for us as well, this has definitely been something where people are moving more into the DIY segment, or the quick to fix kind of a segment for furniture as well, because no one really has that time.
Patience. Sorry to say, but patience. People don't have patience anymore now.
So Virji, now let's address the elephant in the room and the main question that we often get. कि मेरे दादाजी के टाइम का फर्नीचर था, दादाजी के टाइम का टेबल था, वो अभी तक चल रहा था, बट मैंने ये टेबल खरीदा है फ्रॉम XYZ ब्रांड, ये तो एक साल में टूट गया. What is your say, or what's your expert opinion behind this? Because this is the question I think every manufacturer, every vendor would be getting, that what is it that we are doing wrong कि वो टिक नहीं रहा है. What is it that you have to say? Please tell us.
See, this is a very good question that you put forward. If you actually see, whatever furniture that our ancestors have handed over to us, if you see the quality of that furniture is still perfect. That time, all that furniture was being made with solid wood. उस टाइम की लकड़ी की डेंसिटी भी बहुत हैवी होती थी. And obviously, there was very less of competition that time. Because there was very less of competition, people were using all genuine products, genuine wood was being used. And carpenters, for instance, were using very less of hardware. Means I have seen furniture where even nails and screws have not been used. For joinery, carpenters were using wooden pegs, and they were using dowel joints, they were using lap joints, they were using tongue and groove joints. Like these all factors have just become extinct now in the modern day. So because of that, those furnitures are just the way it is. What has changed over the years is the function. देखिए उस टाइम का जो furniture था, it was limited for how much amount of clothes our ancestors used to wear. They used to have a set of about 4 clothes, 4 shirts, 4 pants. That's it. So even if you want to use that furniture today, it becomes a challenge, because now today we have 40 shirts, 40 t-shirts, 10 jeans, 10 you can say trousers. So fitting them into that old furniture becomes a challenge. So what has happened is, over the years, every decade, the function keeps on changing, because of which we feel that furniture is outdated. But trust me, if you change your functions, which is difficult, that furniture will never be outdated.
We are still using one dining table in my grandfather's house, which was made by him.
Absolutely.
And I think it's been there since, I think, not less than 40 years. And I think even more. So, and it is so strong. 2 people, 3 people can even stand on it, nothing will go wrong.
Absolutely.
But in today's time, if we have to, get it to our new house or, to a new setup, because everyone wants a trendier thing, a bit more, where there is glass, where there is some other material which is looking more in trend. So that is not being used more, but in terms of durability, hats off. Jo bana tha wo. We also have a center table that's being used by our family, I think, for more than 40, 50 years now. And it's still the same. There's no issue in that. There's no problem. But again, it's not as trendy as, we want in today's times.
So see, coming back to your question, why does the furniture today does not last that much? So today the problem is cost and competition. Everyone wants furniture that looks the best. But the second challenge is everyone wants at the lowest rate. So somewhere at some point the consumer himself is to be blamed. Consumer wants the best at the cheapest rates. And it is but obvious that when a manufacturer is going to give you something at the cheapest rate, there is going to be some corners cut in the hardware used or in the products used inside.
Definitely. This is what I even tell my customers, because there are times when they come to us saying that, okay, you have given us this quotation, you have given us this price, but we are getting a similar product at this particular price, which is 10, 15, 20% less than what you have given us. But this is what even I tell them, that whenever I'm giving you a product, I am giving you with a warranty, with a guarantee that anything goes wrong, I am to be blamed, and it's my responsibility to give you a new product or to repair it or whatever it takes to, make it functional again. This is what even I say, because we get this on a regular basis that आपका बहुत महंगा है या आपका जो cost है वो दूसरे से ज़्यादा, and this is what I say, are you okay to let go? And then I get my clients accordingly. I that is also a filter for me, to be honest, where I get to work with good clients, good people who have that value, that okay, if we are paying a bit more, we are getting a quality product. That is what even I believe when I am serving any customer.
Absolutely right.
So Vijay, can you tell us more about teak wood, pine wood and plywood, and the today's most widely used material, particle board and MDF board? Because I think there is a big difference, but yet people, when they're comparing, they compare teak wood to particle board and they ask for similar prices and similar time frame. So please, can you tell us more about that?
So see, dominantly teak wood is one of the most used timber in India and maybe in other parts of the world for furniture, for various applications. So how do you identify? Teak wood will be dominantly dark brown in color and with very less of knots.
Okay.
And where it is used, teak wood is used in loose furniture like tables, chairs, windows, door frames, where strength is required but the section size is less.
Okay.
Pine wood, on the other hand, is light in shade, light in color, and it is light in weight also.
Okay.
So, there are some challenges where a particular segment requires timber to be used, but it should be light in weight. So, there, hands down, pine wood is a winner. So, like in air freight boxes, in packaging boxes.
Even in sofas? If
Yes,
I'm not wrong?
yes.
Even in sofas, we use pine wood.
Even in sofas. Then in ship flooring, ship decks, pine wood has been used. So pine wood is also very good for framing because pine wood is always available in long lengths. And you can even get 20 feet of sections in pine wood, which is quite difficult to get in teak wood. So there pine wood has an upper edge. So if you have a ceiling frame or maybe a partition frame, yes, pine wood is used dominantly over there.
Okay.
And see now, so far so plywood is concerned, plywood is used in sheet form. Plywood is not used in section form. So plywood is used in sheet form of 8x4, and now a big win is that plywood is also available in 10x4.
Okay.
Yeah. And plywood you can get in variable thicknesses like 6mm, 8mm, 12mm, 18mm. So plywood is dominantly used where boxing has to be done, like in wardrobes, beds, where boxes have to be made. So the plywood is dominantly used as a base product.
Okay.
फिर उसके ऊपर आप laminate लगा लो, veneer लगा लो. And plywood is also widely used in the construction industry for centering. Yes. So when a builder is laying a slab, so the whole base box is made out of centering plywood. And then coming to particle board and MDF. So see, earlier what was happening is there was a lot of challenge in these wood-based industries is what to do with the sawdust from plywood sawmills, from plywood units. There was a lot of end waste, and this end waste was used as fuel in the villages and all. But now, as urbanization has happened, people have stopped using wood as fuel for cooking and all, and they've got gas supplies at their own houses. So many units have started using this wood dust with glue, resin, and good machinery with very high pressure machines and all. And with all this, they are manufacturing MDF and particle boards. So particle board is wood based product. There are also particle boards that are made with bagasse. So bagasse is basically the end product of sugarcane.
Okay, the one which is left over after removing the juice. Okay.
And MDF is medium density fiber board. So that is a finer dust.
Okay.
So the more finer part of the dust from the leftover particle board or the wood industry is used to make
MDF is stronger than particle board?
Yes. More dense. The density of MDF is more than particle board.
Okay, so it's better if you have to compare between particle board and MDF is better.
Yeah. Cost-wise, MDF is more expensive.
Right. I mean,
Than
if
particle board.
It's stronger, it has to be more expensive.
Correct.
Okay. Great. Thank you for elaborating. And I think by now our audiences will be more informed about what they are buying. So thank you for that. So Viji, in your second answer, I think you mentioned something about veneer. So can you tell us what veneer is and what is laminate? Because to be honest, until very recently, I had also only heard of laminate. But veneer, this is something that's, coming up a lot now and people are going for veneer more than laminate. Can you tell us more about veneers, please?
So see, generally when we are making our furnitures, so plywood, like I told you, is used as a base product. And maybe it's a bed, maybe it's a wardrobe. Boxes are made out of plywood. Then comes the finishing material, the surface. So in surface, first I'll explain you about laminates. So how laminates made? So laminates are basically, very high quality papers in multiple sheets are used with resin and high quality chemicals, and they are, pressed with a very high pressure machine, and that's how they make laminates base. And then the top paper of laminate, the kraft paper, that is usually printed on a very high scale of machines, and this covering paper is usually from Europe, and that is stuck onto the base, and that's how laminates are made. Laminates, you have to just put Fevicol or any adhesive on your plywood and finish the product. So laminates are very cost effective and readily available and quite economical.
Okay.
Now coming to veneers. So how veneers are made? So usually the manufacturer takes actually a log of wood.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have very high precision machines with which they slice these logs.
Okay.
And the slice of one veneer face is only 0.5. Imagine.
0.5.
Yes.
That's too thin.
That's too thin. That's as thin as paper. And so these slices are, piled on each another. And then they have a 4-ply, and then they lay these slices on them. And then they are with very fine machines stitched and finished. So they actually, after a veneer is finished, it looks like natural wood. So these veneers are actually pasted on the beds or on the wardrobes, and then they are polished to get a more wood-like feel.
Okay, that's why on veneers we can see those natural lines and those natural circles as we see on a log of wood. Okay, and laminate is something which is again
Laminate is artificial paper.
Right. Okay, and as you mentioned, veneers are made through logs of wood.
Yeah.
So, is it very easily available? And if I want a particular design, say I want, for my complete 3-4 BHK apartment, and I want a similar looking veneer, is it possible that I could get that?
See, for the whole apartment, it is challenging because veneers are made in lots.
Because it's also natural. That's what I wanted to ask.
Exactly.
That.
So maybe if we have one log and that log has been taken for slicing, so maybe in that one log only 40 veneers can be made. But then generally they have similar logs. So if you want to use say 200 sheets of veneers in one 4 BHK flat, so there will be a challenge of getting them from one lot. So maybe in the living area and the hall, you'll use a 40 sheets per lot. And then you use a 20 sheets per lot in your master bedroom. And in the children's bedroom and in the guest bedroom, you can use another 30 sheets, maybe 15.
Right. So we can conclude that veneer you cannot get, maybe you can, let's not say cannot get, but it is difficult for one to procure a similar looking veneer for the complete project. Meanwhile, for laminate, you can get n number of sheets of the same design, same color. You can use it how much ever you want.
You can even get 3,000 laminates of the same pattern.
But for veneer, it's difficult. You can get a similar pattern, but not the exactly same veneer.
Correct.
Okay, so that's the biggest difference that one can, use to identify the difference between veneer and laminate.
Absolutely.
Oh, lovely. Great. Vijay, considering you have a retail store and you have a big display, I'm sure you'd be serving a lot of customers on a regular basis. So what is the biggest myth or misconception that you've addressed while speaking to a customer and trying to help them buy the perfect material that they need for their particular site?
See, what happens is the biggest myth that a customer has about using wood for furniture is that first, I guess the biggest myth is the customer feels that the wood is very expensive.
Okay.
So obviously 99% of the customers know about wood is teak wood or Burma teak, which of course is very expensive.
Okay.
But there are many other alternatives which customers don't know. Like European timber. In European timber, we get steam beech, we get white beech, we get oak wood, we get sycamore, we get ash wood, we get cherry. So these species are almost, you can say, almost 1/3 the cost of Burma teak. And yes, they are readily available. And it can be used, which customers don't know. They don't have any awareness. And also Canadian pine wood, like I always tell you, Canadian pine wood is available like in red cedar, white cedar, hemlock, Douglas fir. So the advantage of using these timbers, they are available in long lengths, less weight, and very durable. Second myth is customers think that wood is very difficult to maintain, which is absolutely wrong. If wood is stored in dry places and used effectively, taken care of, and maybe in 4-5 years you do a repolish or a rebuff, it's absolutely as good as new.
Vijay, with so many options available now, and as we've been discussing, when I want to make my own office or my commercial space, what is the material that I or anyone should consider when I want to make my dream office? Like, which are the materials you would suggest or are in trend today that one can go with?
See, for commercial spaces, there are two huge factors that decide the materials to be used. One is cost and one is time. So like most of the commercial spaces are rented. So from day one, your rentals have started, and you as a owner, you have the pressure of just moving in as quick as possible. So doing traditional carpentry over there really turns out to be expensive. So here is where the modular furniture manufacturers play a very important role. And because cost is a major concern, so they are dominantly using particle board and prelam MDF for their furniture. So the architects and the interior designers, they design the furniture so that there is minimum wastage of the raw materials used. So to that effect, you get a very competitive rate from the modular furniture manufacturers. And till the time your rental agreement is signed and maybe the floor work or the painting work is going on in the commercial premises, simultaneously off-site in the modular factories, the furniture work starts. Once the painting, the lighting, air conditioning is over, the modular people just come and put up their furniture maybe in 4-5 hours. Game.
That's what we do. That's what we do, because usually when we are doing any project, any commercial project, we are giving time not more than 4 to 5 days, because everyone's in a rush. As you mentioned, they are all leased out. So earlier people had a lot of time where they used to make very good quality furniture, solid furniture. But today in these rental spaces, people don't really have that time, and also no one has that amount of money also to spend, because it's a rental space after all. So they just want that, okay, from tomorrow my lease is starting. I just have 7 days before I need to start having that turnaround from my lease agreement. So basically, yeah, that's what even we do, because people come to us saying, okay, we have 4 days, 5 days. This is the design that we want you to execute. And yeah, we just make them in our factories and just go there and assemble, as you mentioned, in 4 to 5 hours. And I think that's need of the hour as well in terms of commercial spaces.
Exactly.
So yeah, absolutely right. See, over the years, how has the demand from solid wood changed to engineered wood for, making your home or office? Well, like, what is it that you've been seeing?
See, over the years, like I earlier also told you, wood was dominantly used in furniture. Now, there were a few aspects while using wood: patience and time. People had patience, the manufacturers had patience, and everything was sorted. Now, in this 2025, most of us are running short of time, patience, and of course, cost. And people want popular things and cheap alternatives, and people don't have patience. Even the carpenters don't have patience now to use wood. Many times now, in fact, it is so saddening to tell this to you that even if my client wants to use wood, in his house, in his apartment, the carpenter sometimes changes his decision and says that no, इसको बहुत time लगेगा. Let's use veneer or laminate and finish it.
It's also the skill. I think not many people, many carpenters are skilled anymore to do that job, and I think that's also what is making them move away from the original solid wood.
Right. So, like most of the carpenters are also maybe third generation. Most of them have lost the skill and patience, and everyone wants to just, see the volumes and move ahead, leave the sites, hand over the sites, and move ahead. That's the trend that has changed.
So, Vijay, still many people have this thought process that plywood is not as strong as solid wood. So, firstly, is that true? And second, is there any place or any type of furniture where plywood is better than solid wood?
It's a very good question, and see, it all depends upon the application.
Okay.
On a particular application, one product will have better strength, and on another application, the other product will have a better reason to be used.
Okay.
Like if you have to make a chair, maybe a door frame, or maybe a window, so wood will always be better because of the strength, because of the tensile strength, the load bearing factor, the joinery. Whereas if you have to make maybe a bed, a wardrobe, a panel, where sheet forms are more easier to use, boxing has to be done. So plywood will always be the winner in that. So it all depends upon the application.
Okay. So it doesn't matter what you are making or what material you're using. It all depends on the type of furniture that you're making, and then that's how you need to decide what raw material you need to use.
Absolutely right.
Vijay, in our conversation, you mentioned a lot about Canadian wood, Tanzanian wood, and a couple of varieties from Europe. Can you tell us what's the difference in terms of costing, in terms of quality and looks when we are comparing the same with our Indian variety?
So, see, maybe the first factor is cost. Cost wise, yes, imported timber will be quite expensive as compared to Indian timber. So, but there are advantages as like variety. In India, you don't get so much of variety of timber as compared to imported timber. Like in Canadian timber, you get length, you get width. Indian timber, you don't get that.
Any particular reason, or is it just the environment that creates that?
See, for those countries, timber is like a source of income.
Okay.
They have done afforestation very well, and government is managing all these resources.
Okay.
And so it's like a source of income. It's like a big business for them to export.
Okay, so it's not about geography, it's about how well they've managed it. I'm sure even in India, if we would have managed it well, we could have gotten similar quality.
Yeah, so coming back to India, so in India, see, there are two types of timber. One is forest timber and one is farm timber. So first I'll talk about forest timber. Now in forest timber, dominantly it is teak wood. So most of these forests, they come under government reserves. Like there are forests in Uttarakhand, in Madhya Pradesh, in Karnataka, Ballarsha. So all the timber that has been cut over here, dominantly the teak wood, quarters, and they are kept in lots, and there is a government auction that takes place, and that's how the timber comes to us.
So the supply is limited.
Yes,
Okay.
supply is limited.
Okay.
Secondly, now I'm coming back to the farm timber. In North India, there are dominantly two species which is grown under farm timber, that is eucalyptus, which is also known as nilgiri or safeda in common words, and poplar. So these two species are grown by farmers within their fields where they are cultivating cash crops like wheat, jawar, etc. And these timber, they have a cycle of about 4-5 years. After 4-5 years, these timber are cut and they are dominantly used by all the plywood factories.
Okay.
And in this case, the farmer doesn't have to pay any income tax. It is tax free for him. And it's a cash crop, but after 5 years.
Okay.
In South India, rubber wood and silver oak are again considered as farm timber. Why I'm using the term farm timber is that you do not require permission to grow. Again, you do not require permission to cut. And the income that a farmer gets from this is tax free. This farm timber is used in our wooden industries, like for particle board, for MDF, for plywood. So kind of you can say India is very self-sufficient where it has to make plywood or particle board.
Right. So coming back to the solid wood question, so why is it that the ones which are imported more expensive? It is only because of the duties and transportation, or it's better in terms of quality as well? Because as I had asked earlier, it's about cost, durability, and as well as, how well we can use the same.
Yeah, so imported timber, yes. Like I told you, first thing first is variety. There are about 8 species of European timber. There are about 7-8 species of African timber. So in India, we don't have that much of variety. India, we have only dominantly teak wood. So because of variety, they get an upper hand. Their seasoning standards are way much ahead of Indian seasoning standards.
Okay.
So European timber, African timber, they are seasoned very well. And then, because of that, the cost also increases. But again, then the quality also increases because of seasoning.
So the quality is much better than what we can get locally. And in terms of sustainability, is it better? Does it last longer, or and comparatively?
See, this is a very good question that you've asked about sustainability. Yes, I will tell. It doesn't matter whether it is Indian timber or imported timber or wood is natural. So yes, it is a sustainable resource. It can be regrown. And the best part about using timber is that it has the least carbon footprint.
Okay.
Yeah. So in terms of that, it is very good.
Okay. So that's something new that I've learned today, that it's even sustainability wise, it's much better. So thank you.
One notable thing that I would like to tell you about the timber in Canada is there are thousands of hectares of forest under Canadian government. And there the government and the people are using timber for even making buildings.
Right.
First of all is because of its carbon footprint, availability, and you won't believe maybe a 10-story building, the amount of timber that is used in a 10-story building might take only 15 or 20 minutes to grow. Yes, the surface area is that large.
Okay. That's something again that wasn't known to me earlier. So, okay, that's something new.